Good evening, everyone. Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another very important live video update tonight. So it seems like every week or so I'm talking more about fines, and unfortunately this week is no exception, and there have actually been a number of articles that have come out about the latest fines. But before I get into those actual articles, I just wanted to share a little bit of an observation with everybody. I've actually been driving around quite a bit over the past week or so, and just in that short period of time I've noticed 4 sets of motorbike police. So they always travel in pairs, obviously. So that's 8 of those. And I reckon about a dozen highway patrol cars. And that's just all around in different areas of Melbourne just over the past week. So it is crystal clear to me that after winning their recent pay rise bid, they've been very clearly instructed to cover those extra costs by raising as much revenue as possible. So please, if you are in or around Victoria, specifically in Melbourne, over the next few weeks, just be extra vigilant because they are well and truly out in force at the moment. Okay, so getting back to those articles. Now, the title of the first one really does say it all. Now, this one is fantastic. So if you've missed this article, I urge you to go and read it because it is very well written. State set to extort more cash from latest speed cameras. Tasmanian's Orwellian Department of Growth is bragging about the new speed cameras it's installed that are raking in tens of thousands of dollars to feed the Liberal-run state's fat bureaucracy. The department that incorporates 7 ministers and their layers of corporate management bureaucrats has revealed that during a recent trial of new automatic speed cameras on the Tasman Bridge in Tasmania, more than 700 drivers were caught speeding each week. Now, as I've said before, if 700 people are caught in 1 week doing the wrong thing, then perhaps your definition of wrong might be wrong. Maybe the speed limit is clearly set too low if that many people are exceeding it every week. This is not rocket science, people. And in New South Wales, average speed cameras, which previously only monitored heavy vehicles, will soon begin detecting all drivers in a trial from May 1 at 2 locations. This state extortion comes on top of the extortion carried out by councils and their bureaucracies that fine people hundreds of dollars for merely parking a vehicle on a nature strip when it's a safer option than parking on and half blocking a narrow street. So folks, let's grow Tasmania by fattening up the revenue take from the plebs driving to and from their lowly jobs, while Department of Growth ministers and bureaucrats pat themselves on the back because of their new high-tech cameras that can more efficiently clock some sucker driving 5.5 kilometres over the limit. Speeding was traditionally recognised as dangerous driving at a speed that endangers other road users. It happens all the time with hoons and their hotted up cars terrorising neighbourhoods at midnight, but is seldom enforced. A car in dry conditions on a highway edging 5 to 10 kilometres over the limit is not dangerous driving and may not present a danger to anyone. But in Tasmania, exceeding the applicable speed limit for the length of road by less than 10 kilometres an hour attracts a $101 fine plus 2 demerit points. 10 to 14 kilometres an hour attracts a $151 fine, and so on upwards. The New South Wales minimum for speed 10 kilometres and under is an arbitrary $145, but if you go to court and you are found guilty, it's a massive $2,200, a brazen act of state extortion designed to deny people justice. Clearly people haven't read the Aussie Speeding Fines book and referred to Article 15 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which says that you cannot be charged more than the amount that was due and applicable at the time. Very important point. The government grovelling Yahoo News reports that authorities argue the improvements will enhance enforcement and ultimately save lives. In other words, Big Brother government wants you to drive like a scared mouse, constantly watching your speedo for fear of incurring another naughty boy penalty. Some words of advice from Cairns News to the 7 Fat Cat ministries and their Fat Cat department heads. Get rid of at least half of your damned regulations and multi-layered bureaucracy and follow the Trump example and get the hell out of people's lives. Then your state will grow. So brilliant words. What a fantastic article. And what a brilliant sentiment right at the end. And of course, that would apply to all states and territories, okay, not just Tasmania. They all need to cut their rules and regulations by half and just let people get on with their lives. Now, following on directly from that article was yet another article spouting all the benefits of AI technology and catching what they call speeding drivers. So here's another article that you should definitely have a look at. And it says how AI and next-gen speed cameras are catching more drivers than ever before. New speed camera tech is a sign of things to come for Australian motorists, catching significantly more speeding drivers. From catching just over 600 speeding drivers a year to more than 700 in 1 week, that is the astounding rise in offences detected by new automobile speed cameras in Tasmania, in a sign of how latest gen technology is cracking down on Australian drivers. In an effort to reduce road trauma, that's an effort, it doesn't say it's actually doing it in any way, shape or form, it's just an effort to reduce road trauma and the national road death toll, Australian states and territories are rapidly upgrading their motoring offence enforcement technology, replacing outdated equipment to catch speeding, seatbelt and mobile phone offences, with authorities claiming that everybody will benefit. Well, everybody in government will, of course, because that'll make them a lot of money. Introduced last month, the senseless GATSO cameras replaced 1990 cameras that were decommissioned in 2022. The new cameras are able to detect multiple cars in multiple lanes, unlike the older cameras. The old cameras detected just 624 speeding vehicles in 2020 to 2021, and 458 in 2021 to 22, while the new system is catching more than 700 speeders each week. Well, I mean, of course, the road toll would be just plummeting if that was the case, wouldn't it? Of course, that's not what's actually happening at all, is it? Senseless GATSO is responsible for 16 speed cameras across Tasmania, which have detected more than 60,000 speeding offences in the past 12 months alone. Well, I mean, you know, Tasmania should have a record road toll then. If there's 60,000 speeding motorists and speed kills, as they love to tell us, the road toll should be through the roof. But of course it's not, because as I've said a million times before, speed has little to nothing to do with accidents. In fact, it's only a factor, not the factor, just a factor in 5% of accidents. That's it. Don't buy into all the rubbish the media loves to spout. Tasmania is not the only state in Australia upgrading its speed cameras. In New South Wales, 2 average speed camera locations are now monitoring all trucks and cars, not just heavy vehicles, while Victoria has expanded the operating hours of its mobile speed cameras to catch more drivers. In Queensland, new AI-equipped cameras have been introduced to detect mobile phone use and those not wearing seatbelts, while Western Australia added 6 new mobile cameras at the end of 2024, and 4 new smart cameras are reportedly planned for Perth freeways as well. Now, all this AI tech and new cameras, and it all sounds really great until you actually look at the road toll in each of those states, and you see that despite all of this new technology and despite all of these new cameras being rolled out, the road toll was actually the highest in many, many years in each of those states last year. So clearly those cameras are not the deterrent that the governments claim they are, and clearly they are not saving lives as they also claim. Now, I've explained this many, many times before, but maybe some of you are new to these videos, so you need to understand that one of the fundamental issues with speed cameras is that they are never, ever properly tested and calibrated and certified pursuant to the actual manufacturer's requirements. That's the companies that actually make these cameras. They have certain requirements and the cameras simply don't meet them. Okay? These agencies never actually nominate the ambient temperature and the speeds at which the devices were supposedly tested. And of course, there's not actually any originating specifications for speed in Australia. So what exactly are they, testing these cameras against anyway? And please also keep in mind that anyone who's been following these for some years will know that Dr. Richard Britton, who was the chief metrologist at the National Measurement Institute, has repeatedly stated that no No speed detection device currently in use in Australia complies with Section 10 of the National Measurement Act, okay? Nor does any speed detection device comply with the Australian standards, nor can they ever do because of those reasons that I just explained. So please, if you want to learn all of this vitally important information and much more, the stuff that no liar for hire is ever going to tell you, please grab that Aussie Speeding Fines book. You'll find a link in the description. You'll find a link in the comments, okay? And learn all the information that you need to arm yourself to successfully challenge all unjust and unlawful fines, okay? Now, whilst we're still on the subject of fines, as an additional reason, okay, to never ever sign up for any digital driver's license, check out the latest insane fines that you can now incur just because your phone goes flat. Yes, if you're in New South Wales and your mobile phone goes flat and you're using the digital system, you are screwed. So this is the article. A driver's license rule with $110 fine prompts warning to millions, feels harsh. A leading road lawyer. What's that exactly? A lawyer that just sits on the side of the road watching cars go by? I'm not sure. Anyway, says Aussie drivers are being caught out by a little known rule. Ask around and it's likely you know someone who's copped a fine while driving on the road lately. With the increased prevalence of mobile phone and seatbelt direction cameras along with traditional red light and speed cameras, if you slip up while driving, you're probably going to be caught. Now road users are being warned about a little known driver's license rule that is catching Aussies off guard and landing them with $110 fines. In Australia's most populous state, if drivers rely on their digital license and their phone has run out of battery, that too is an offence there isn't much chance of getting away with. It's one of those little known rules that catches people off guard, leading lawyer Haider Chakra told Yahoo News of the New South Wales road rule, adding that he believes it feels a bit harsh. The digital driver's licence has been slowly introduced state by state over the past several years, with 4.5 million people in New South Wales now using the feature via the Services New South Wales app. Really? There are 4.5 million stupid people in New South Wales? That is really concerning. The state rolled out the initiative in 2019 after South Australia, which led the country in 2017, was then the first to launch the scheme. New South Wales is unlike other states where it comes to accessing the licence if your phone battery has run out. Some believe there is a 24-hour grace period to produce your licence, but Chakra said in New South Wales, that's a myth. You either produce your licence on the spot or you're copping a fine. No second chances. He said other states, Queensland and Victoria, give the option to show your license later at a police station. Meanwhile, in New South Wales, it's like phone dead, bad luck, here's a fine, he explained. He added that numerous drivers have contacted him saying they've been done for this exact offence. One person even said he was fined despite asking the police officer if he could charge his phone with his car phone charger, to which the police officer declined, he said. Well, that's, again, good old police, doing their bit to really genuinely help the community, isn't it? Fantastic. And they wonder why they're the most hated profession out there. While he points out the fine can be challenged in court, the $110 fine might not be worth your while taking it that far. It's just one of those annoying things. Make sure your phone battery is charged when you're driving. Now, of course, we're told, forget about your phone, don't look at your phone, don't touch your phone. Now we've got a lawyer telling you, make sure your phone's charged when you're driving. I mean, come on, people, let's have some consistency here. Okay, now, very important, as that article correctly states, any of those fines can and indeed should be very, very easily challenged using Chapter 3 of that Aussie Speeding Fines book. Okay, that's that tried, tested and proven 3-step process. And again, at the end of tonight's videos, I'll go through even more testimonials to prove that that system absolutely works if you simply follow those steps. Now, here's the thing though, those fines for your phone going flat are just absolute blatant revenue raising. Okay, the police actually already have all that data on their computers in their cars. That's the whole point of a digital license system. So saying I'm going to fine you because you can't show it on the phone when they could just look it up on the system is absolutely absurd, and there's just no justification whatsoever for issuing any fines like that. Now, Here's the thing though, given that those fines do exist in reality, there is clearly no benefit whatsoever to ever having a digital driver's license, and clearly there is an endless array of detriments to having one. So please don't be stupid enough to buy into their convenience and safety arguments. Just stick to the physical license, which of course, remember, at the end of the day belongs to the state, not to you anyway, so there's absolutely no reason that you should ever have it on your phone. Now, of course, the biggest concern and the biggest issue with those digital licenses is how all of your personal private details can be hacked, which obviously can't happen with the physical license. Now, there was another absolutely shocking example of that just today, where 9,000 court documents, which included actual domestic violence details, were all hacked. Now, this is a really concerning story. If you haven't seen this yet, I urge you to have a look. It is the title of the article, as always, thousands of New South Wales court files, including AVOs, leaked in major data breach. About 9,000 court files, including sensitive documents such as apprehended violence orders and affidavits, have been leaked in a breach of the New South Wales court system's online registry. Police were alerted to a breach of the New South Wales online registry website on Tuesday, and the state cybercrime squad commenced an investigation, New South Wales Police said in a statement on Wednesday night. The registry is an online platform that provides secure access to information in both civil and criminal cases across the New South Wales court system. Investigators were working on containing the major data breach and establishing the extent of the breach in collaboration with the Department of Communities and Justice. The New South Wales Attorney General Michael Daly said in a statement reported by 9 newspapers, the New South Wales government is taking this incident seriously. I bloody well hope so. I'm assured that DCJ is working with Cybersecurity New South Wales and the New South Wales Police to ensure the ongoing integrity of this system. How can it be ongoing integrity of the system when the system was just shown to not have any integrity? I mean, that makes no sense, people. The system has no integrity because that was just breached. So there can't be ongoing integrity of something that has no integrity, like a lot of the police officers out there. They are also working to urgently identify and contact affected users, and the public will be kept updated as more information becomes available. Oh, well, that's just, really comforting, isn't it? If you're in New South Wales and have got a court case, especially if it's, domestic violence related, I mean, it's just nuts. And getting back to that driver's license, I mean, if the Department of Justice, for crying out loud, can't keep your personal private details, AVO orders, court orders, affidavits, that sort of information safe, then what hope do the various motoring bodies of the different states have of keeping your driver's license information safe? Absolutely zero. Okay. Now, speaking of keeping people safe, we, of course, were all told by the mainstream media and the government for years that COVID vaccines would keep people safe. And now, of course, the truth about the jabs is, of course, starting to come out. And many people are sharing absolutely horrific stories of how they were anything but safe. Well, a bunch of employees across the ditch over there in New Zealand are now actually going to court to stand up for their human rights. Okay, they chose to stand up against choosing not to be part of this global medical experiment in order, of course, to keep themselves truly safe. So this is a very interesting case, and we're certainly going to keep an eye on it. If you want to have a look at it for yourselves, that's the article there. And it says, Air New Zealand employees take airline to court over COVID-19 vaccination mandate. An Air New Zealand captain and engineer have told an employment court about the impact they felt after refusing to be vaccinated against COVID-19 in 2021 and being forced to take annual leave and leave without pay. The duo are part of 33 Air New Zealand employees who are challenging the company's COVID-19 vaccination policy in the employment court. Charlotte Parkhill, who is the lawyer representing the 33, said in opening her case that there are 2 questions the judge needs to determine: whether any employer can lawfully adopt a vaccination policy And was it lawful and reasonable for the airline to have adopted the policy in the circumstances that existed at the time? Remember, New Zealand had some of the lowest case numbers anywhere in the world. Okay, so they certainly didn't need to be mandating things. And no, they didn't have the lowest case numbers because they mandated things that, they had the lowest case numbers anyway. They just, chose to follow in Dan's dirty footsteps. Parkhill said these questions weren't just important questions of law, but of fundamental importance. They involve the intersection between basic human rights, health and safety, and employment law. These people have been labelled anti-vaxxers and lumped in with people who have other views which may not align with the mainstream. However, all of our clients are intelligent, professional individuals who researched the vaccine and made a decision based on the best information that they had before them at the time regarding their own health. And how can you ask anyone to do any more than that? Air New Zealand was holding a gun to its employees' heads, but wouldn't take responsibility if someone was injured with the vaccine, he went on to say. Okay, so you must do this, but if anything happens, if you do, we're not going to take any responsibility. I mean, it's just madness. So it is fantastic to see these guys standing up for their beliefs, standing up for their rights. We definitely wish them all the very best with their case, and we look forward to reporting on a very favourable outcome. Now, whilst we're on the subject of COVID, the Victorian government recently lost their bid, as they bloody well should have, to keep their COVID briefing details secret. Why on earth would they want to anyway? So if you've missed this article, it has been doing the rounds. Okay, there's a video that goes with it you can watch if you want more info. But this is the title, Just Disgraceful. Victorian government loses bid to keep COVID briefings secret. New South Wales Independent MLC Tanya Mikhailuk has slammed former Premier of Victoria Daniel Andrews over his handling of COVID in Victoria. It comes amid the Victorian government losing its bid to keep secret the coronavirus briefings used to justify sending Victorians into the world's longest lockdown. There should be consequences of that guy's actions. Okay, she said. The amount of destruction and distress he's caused, it's still ongoing now. People should never, ever forget that and never succumb to anything like that ever again. Okay, and that's why, after all these years, I'm still reminding people of that on these videos so that no one ever, ever forgets what they did. And as I've said in recent videos, something is still brewing. They're still planning something. And we'll circle back to that on another video because we're not going to have time tonight. But the key for me with this is the fact that they even tried to keep them secret in the first place, rather than just being transparent with the public, should tell you absolutely everything you need to know about the Labor government. So please make sure that you and everybody you know keeps that in mind, okay, during the upcoming federal elections, which have been slated to be called tomorrow, or nominated tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that. And just finally, to finish off on a very positive note, the Muppet in charge, of course, during those COVID briefings was, of course, good old dictator Dan Andrews, who it seems is now finally being held to some sort of account, at least on some level. So this story has been doing all the rounds on social media. I'm sure you've seen it before, but in case anyone's missed it, entire town bans Dan Andrews as blacklist continues to balloon out of control as unpopular ex-premier hits back at claims. Controversial former Premier Daniel Andrews is facing claims that he was apparently banned by an entire town in Victoria's northwest. Adam Schultz claims the tradesmen and businesses in Bundalong, a small town on the Murray River near New South Wales border, have refused their services to Mr Andrews. He claimed Mr Andrews was kicked out of the Bundalong Tavern, the town's main pub, with its owner Brett Butler backing up the claim. Mr Andrews, went down to the local hotel. He paid for his meal and all of his mates, Mr Schultz said. As soon as the owner found out, he was refunded his money and he was told to leave the actual premises, and the people inside were saying you may as well leave the whole town as well. Mr Schultz also claimed Mr Andrews had bought a block of land near the town centre and was told by a local builder he wouldn't work for him. The builder allegedly told Mr Andrews, you can go away nicely. I'm not building for you, and on top of that, I'm telling every builder, plumber, plasterer, carpenter, anyone involved in the building trade within 200 kilometres of this town that this is your block of land and not to touch it. So, look, of course, Andrews has come out and said, oh, no, none of that ever happened. It's all a load of rubbish. But look, the fact that the media are reporting on a story like that, and the fact that people are actually speaking out against him like that, is certainly a very, very positive sign. Again, if we can all collectively make Andrews and his family feel as unwelcome in this state as possible and make life as difficult as possible for him, then he might slowly but surely start getting the message. And you know what? If not, he'll still be living a really, really miserable life anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Let's keep the pressure on him, and let's not let up exactly like he did to all Victorians for all those years during COVID. All right, and just speaking of Victoria, before we finish up, a very quick reminder that our first live event right here in Melbourne is now just 1 week away. So not this weekend, the following weekend, the 4th, 5th and 6th of April. If you missed our very special announcements regarding those events, as we have said, these will unfortunately be the very last of our standard live events moving forward. So we just want to make sure that anyone and everyone who's ever wanted to come and see us live in person, shake our hands, share their story with us, ask us questions, learn all of our information, has the opportunity to do so. So we have introduced two very special opportunities. First and foremost is the completely unprecedented 2-for-1 ticket offer. So you can bring a friend, partner, family member, whoever you want, completely for free when you book for all 3 days. Just book for 3 days, send us an email saying I'm also bringing this person, and we'll add them to the list. And again, we do know a lot of people are struggling financially, so we are allowing people just pay a $100 deposit, just secure your seat before they sell out, and then you can just pay the balance at the event, so you're not tying all your money up straight away. So you can find out further details on our seminar page. So you'll find a link in the description to the seminar page. Now, please, all of the details, we've had a heap of people email us, what are the start and finish times? What are the start and finish? They're all on the seminar page. Just scroll about a quarter of the way down. It lists every single topic that we cover on every single day and the start and finish times for each day as well. And do, of course, remember that the Friday night is a completely free event. It doesn't cost you anything to attend, but you do have to register. You can't just turn up on the day. You have to register. We've only got X number of seats, so you need to book the free event if you want to come on the Friday. But of course, we do recommend people come for the whole weekend. Now, of course, if you can't make those live events for some reason, don't forget that we do have our brand new live webinar series coming up, and the first of those is on the 4th of May. And again, you'll find a link going up in the comments section if you're watching this on Facebook. Otherwise, if you're watching on YouTube or BitChute, just go to our seminar page again, just click webinars. You'll find all the information there. All right, and finally, just to finish up, as I always do, I'm going to share the latest feedback from some of our members, and of course share with you the latest memes just to keep people thinking about what's really going on at the moment. So first up, Joe has sent a couple of emails through. There was a bit of an email trail here. So first up, he said, hello, Mike and the team. I'm delighted to beat a low-range speeding fine. Thanks to you, Mike, and the team. I went to court and spoke to the prosecutor, and from his mouth quoted, I should have just paid the fine and not go through the trouble of going to court. I went to court to face the judge, and the case was dismissed in less than a minute. Much appreciated. And he actually goes a bit more detail here. He said, I actually told the prosecutor that it states on the charge summons that it's an alleged speed. The fine was for speeding 60 kilometres hour zone, detected me doing 67, and then alleged me doing 64, which didn't sit well with me because it's not a confirmed detection speed. So the judge said, it's a low speed, and I said, yes, you cannot feel doing only 4 kilometres an hour faster, and he seemed to agree. Case dismissed. Thanks again for your support, team. So, again, further proof that if you follow the steps in that book, okay, and if necessary, take them out of the court, you can very easily have these fines dismissed. So, again, if you don't yet have that book, make sure you grab it. And then one more, because again, we always get trolls. Oh, the stuff doesn't work. We tried it. It didn't work. Well, we give you not only actual proof, we show you the emails, but we can actually show you the actual court, orders as well as actual letters from the relevant council. So here's one from Vincenza, who writes in, council tried to fine me for not registering my dogs. So I said no. They referred my matter to Revenue New South Wales, who tried to fine me $700. I used the method in your books and they dropped the whole matter. Pretty damn proud of myself for pushing through the fear of frightening them. So there's the actual letter. You can see it's just copied and pasted all the letter. That's the letter there. And then here's the actual email back to him from Revenue New South Wales, proving everything that we say here. Dear Mr. Such and Such, we're writing to you about contact with us regarding penalty notices such and such, outcome of our review. We consider the circumstances you presented. We also consulted the caution review guidelines, legislation information provided by the issuing authority. Our investigation concludes fines such and such have been cancelled. Payment for those fines is no longer required. You do not need to take any further action in relation to these fines. For more details, blah, 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 blah. But there's the actual email. So again, anyone out there go, oh, it doesn't work, I've tried it, it doesn't work. Did you actually follow the steps? It's called a 3-step process for a reason, because there's 3 steps. And there's another step after that. If that bit doesn't work, you've got to follow all the steps, people. Can't just do half the job and go, oh, I wonder why it didn't work. You've got to follow all the steps. Yes, it might work after, step 1 or step 2, and then you don't have to do any more, and that's fantastic. But sometimes you do actually have to follow all the steps. So please make sure, if you're in that situation, that you do that. Okay, so as I mentioned, there's talk about Albanese meeting with the Governor-General tomorrow to announce the election. So one of our members sent this through, and I thought that made a lot of sense. It says, vote 1 aggro for PM. If the country's going to be run by Muppets, we may as well have one that we trust. So there you go, interesting thought. Yes, what do you say to this? I mean, I'm just going to hold this up and just shake my head, because, I mean, this is the insanity that is going on in this ridiculous woke world that we currently live in. We first knew our child was trans 3 weeks before it was conceived, when we hired a sperm whisperer to communicate with it by tapping Morse code on my wife's testicles. There you have it, people. I'll just move right on from that. And I'm not even going to read this out, because I'm sure if I try, the good old Facebook fact checkers will try and push this down the feed so that people don't see it. But this is very, very important information. So please, I'll hold this up for an extra moment longer so that you all have a chance to read this and ask that final question. Where are the clients? Why have they not been held to account yet? Yes, and the final one, because, there's lots of talk about the Doge program in the media. It's already starting to hit Australian universities as well, and people are up in arms in America. And as it says, Mummy, why would anyone be against Doge? Well, probably because those people have been stealing from the taxpayers for years and don't want to give up their scam. And again, we just hope and pray that the full Doge system comes here in Australia and we can expose and eliminate the insane government wastage that goes on here in this country. And I've already got some articles in line with that to share on our next video update. But I know we're out of time, so I'm going to leave things there. As always, I do urge you to please make use of all the various products and services and information that is out there to get informed, get fired up, and get proactive. Okay, this is what we need, people taking action this year more than ever before. As always, these videos are completely free to watch. Again, be aware that Facebook is deleting them all after 30 days. So I suggest you either download them or find them on our YouTube channel or our BitChute channel. Just go onto those platforms, whichever's your preferred. Do a search for Know Your Rights Group. You'll find those channels, and make sure you like and subscribe, and that way you'll get notifications every time we do a video. Our radio shows, again, completely free to listen to every second week. Again, our upcoming radio show this coming Tuesday night, 2-hour show. We go into a lot more detail. They're completely uncensored. Just click on the big black Listen Live button on our radio show page to listen in between 8 and 10 p.m. on Tuesday night. Don't forget, we've got coaching sessions available. I'm back finished from my work at Mooma now, so I am able to do those one-on-one coaching sessions with any Know Your Rights queries. And of course, I'm also still working with all of my success coaching clients. So if you are wanting to make 2025 your best year ever, you want to overcome some hurdles, obstacles, challenges, whatever they might be, just reach out. You'll find a link to my website in the description. Also, just send me an email, mike@successcoaching.net.au, and I can sort something out for you there. Now, of course, if you want to go above and beyond that, we do have our book, The Essential Step-by-Step Manual for Understanding and Exercising Your Rights. The Aussie Speeding Fines book, of course, which I mentioned before. These guys have been around for 18 years, showing thousands and thousands of people how to successfully challenge all unjust and unlawful fines. And we know a lot of people are struggling financially, so please stop throwing good money after bad at your unsecured loans, your credit cards, personal loans, things like that. They can be easily discharged, written off with just a few letters. So you can get these individually. You can get them all as part of the combo pack. You do get the tote bag included as a bonus, completely free of charge with that. Now, of course, those books, do remember, they each come with their own CDs, which have documents, videos, links to websites, all those sorts of things. Now, I've had some people go, oh, but I don't have a CD player on my computer. Then grab one of these, okay? These are the new USB CD, DVD drives. You just plug it into the USB port on your computer. If you've got a Mac, it's got the Mac adapter as well. Plug it in, you put the CD or DVD, I think in that end, and it'll all come up on your computer. So very easy to access everything. And then there's USB ports on the top, so you can transfer all the data from the discs onto the USB as well. And we've even got little USB sticks as well. So again, you'll find links in the comments section for that. Don't forget, we've got the caps. There's still some warm weather around, so grab the caps. People see the logo, they come up, have a chat. Great way to meet like-minded people. Please make sure, do not leave it to the last minute, because we are going to be printing our books. All of our workbooks for our seminar are going to go to the printers at the start of next week. So if you want to lock in a seat and you want to lock in a workbook, please make sure you book over the course of this weekend. And of course, if you can't make it for whatever reason, or you want some additional information, do be sure to grab a copy of the home study course, which is a complete recording of one of those 2.5-day live events. There's 17 DVDs that you can pause, rewind, fast forward in the comfort of your own home at your own pace. 3 custom-made workbooks with sections to write notes next to every single slide from every single presentation. It's all there in a lovely box for you. So I'm going to leave things there. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. We'll speak to you live on Tuesday night on the radio show, and of course again live next Thursday night for the next live video update. Until then, take care.